It's so cool to have you on, Corey, because you're the one that helped put together Real Estate Hell with Scott Nell.
Yeah.
You're like the person. It's like the Wizard of Oz, and you're behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain.
Yes, stop it, do this, do this, do this. And
Bossy one.
I just want to get on, talk, and then go, bye. You guys figure it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nice to have met you, Corey Walker, because I met you to talk about some social media stuff, and I asked some questions, and it turns out you're so much more. There's so much more you bring to the table than when I initially came to you for. I just didn't realize, and then I realized you're published. You're the author of business. Wait, Instagram for business. No, Instagram for business for dummies, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And Instagram for dummies. So there's two different, yes.
Okay, so what's the difference between the two?
So Instagram for dummies is really for anybody that wants to learn to use Instagram, just to use it for fun, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So it's a little bit easier. Instagram for business for dummies is meant for the small business owner or medium-sized business owner that really wants to use Instagram to promote their business. So it goes into more technical things like using ads, using hashtags, things like that are more business savvy versus somebody that just wants to post, cute pics of their kids.
So what? So that makes sense. Because I know you from a business standpoint. Hey, what are we going to do? And then we want to make sure there's a balance between how I use Instagram and other platforms in my business, but it also has to be authentic to me. So that brings the personal aspect into it, which is what you and I have talked about.
Yes.
But is the Instagram for dummies alone, though? That's for someone, okay, I'm not doing any business, but I have no idea how this works. And so you go boom, 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 boom. You spell out, this is how it works, dummy.
Yeah. I mean, it goes through everything from how to set it up, how to download the app, really simple so that anybody can pick it up and go, okay, I've never used Instagram before. I don't even know where to get it. They can go through and have step-by-step, and we take all of our own screenshots and we, go through and test our own instructions that we write. But then there's two other editors that go through and also test it. And so they'll come back and say, well, when I went to this screen, I saw this. And so we have to, figure out which is right and then publish that all the while Instagram is changing things in the background. So it's kind of like a race to the printer to, get it printed before things start changing. It does. So yeah. Three editions of one and 2 editions of the other. So
nice. So how lucky am I to be working with you? Thank you. Yeah, you really do make things so much easier for me with social media and with your ideas. And you happen to be a great writer as well, which I didn't know that either. And then all of a sudden you come in there and go, well, just do this. And so, I mean, it's pretty impressive. And I appreciate what you've done to help me build my business. It's been fantastic. It really has.
Well, it's been a pleasure working with you as well.
Not all the time.
95% of the time. Yeah.
I get the shiny penny syndrome. You told me. He said, Scott, stop. I mean, I like that. Just stop.
But you've gotten much better about that.
I was hoping you'd say that so I didn't have to.
Yeah. No, you have.
I literally am intentional about it. It's like, okay, what's the project we're working on? And let's own this and make sure it's streamlined. Because why do a bunch of things in a shitty way? Why not do each one? I'd rather do 5 things that we focus on that are fantastic. And so Real Estate Hell was one of them. And it was tough because there's companies that do that kind of thing. They put together the podcast. Very expensive, and I just don't like the tone. And to me, I wanted to be more authentic. So having you help me put that together and kind of get everyone on course so everyone knew what they were doing, it's been instrumental.
Great. Yeah, it's been a fun, I can't lie and say it's been fun the whole time, but it's...
Yeah.
But it's been a good process to just figure out, how to make it work. And now I feel like we have a pretty well-oiled machine, and yeah.
No, I think so too. I think it just gets better and better to the point now where we can focus on other things. Remember when we spoke at the beginning, we talked about, I said, I don't want to become the next Joe Rogan. That's not me. I'm not that guy. I want to get in front of people that know me, that know my name, just so that they can see that I hang out with some pretty cool people. that I rub elbows with a lot of great people and attorneys and estate planning attorneys and cool clients and stuff. I really want to highlight them, which in essence is a little bit selfish. It highlights me too, which is a real blessing. And I think that once you and I kind of got in sync on that, it was like, okay. And so if I bring up something, you would be like, why? Because it doesn't do what our mission is.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And it has, I know that, when you go to meetings or anything out in public, people are saying, oh, hey, I saw real estate hell, and you get lots of comments on that. So
Yeah.
that's what it's all about.
It's kind of fun because you walk in and I probably, get 2 or 3 comments for every time I go into a group and they said, "Hey, it's the realtor from hell," and it just makes me laugh because I know that they're thinking about it and they're
Yeah.
talking about it, and I'm hoping that that they're enjoying it because there's this 60 to 90 second clips, and I mean the last one we just did with Gail was so much fun. I had no idea what to expect. I knew she's a great attorney. She loves difficult cases, but all the stuff she came up with just it flowed into a conversation, and that's what I want it to be. I don't want it to be this interview you. I don't think I'd make a great interviewer, but I can have a great conversation.
Yeah. And you do.
Yeah, yeah. It's like yeah, you're all right. You're all right. So talk to me. I know you work with other clients. I don't like hearing about them but for the sake of this show, because I'm a very jealous businessman. I think I did tell you that at one point. I said, "Look, I'm going to introduce you to people, but I'm number one.
Yes, you did.
You got to respond to me. I don't want to be. I don't want to be in the back burner, and trying to get stuff done. But you've been so great. You always do make me feel like number one, honestly, because you're so great. Um, how do you talk to me about other clients that you work with and how you work with them? What's your process with them?
Yeah, so I work with a kind of strange variety, but I do find that I like working with service-based businesses. So, like you would be a service-based business, restaurant
Mm-hmm.
owner, service-based business, lawyers and healthcare doctors, things like that. So it kind of depends on who I'm working with. I do have a bigger corporate client, and I do a lot of just their scheduling of social media and creating blog posts, um, getting all their content together and making sure that it goes with their overall campaign, like corporate wide. So I have one client that's very healthcare related. I have some smaller healthcare clients
Mm-hmm.
that are more like a rural health clinic, and so I help them, and I like to highlight different providers that are in their office and talk about
Mm-hmm.
their specialties and how they can help people, how they help the community. But yeah, my sweet spot is really coming up with social media strategy and then the content that flows out of that, as well as paid ads and email marketing. So
Mm-hmm.
those are kind of the main things that I usually work on with people. And I've kind of gotten out of that zone a little bit because I feel like we do a lot more with processes and
Mm-hmm.
systems and things like that, which I've brought some of that into some of my other clients as well. Like, well, we could really do this in a more batched way, or we could do
Right.
it in a way where we're not, reinventing the wheel every time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something, since I've started working more with you, that I've enjoyed doing for other clients, is getting things on more of a systematized, optimized, which is one of your favorite words. How can we optimize this?
Right. Streamline
Um,
this baby. Right.
yeah, so I do a lot more with that. And it helps a lot with social media, getting things to a point where they're kind of batched out and systematized.
So
So,
you're saying, just in case people don't know, because it sounds like you're saying bashed out, but you're talking about you do thing in batches, which
yeah.
means.
Yeah. So, for instance, I have a lot of clients where before I would do maybe like a week of their social media captions and content, and I'd send it to them, and then they would review it and then get some changes, send it back. And I said, why am I doing this every week? This is such a pain for me. This is such a pain
Mhm.
for them. So then we started doing it on a monthly basis. So now I get all
Yep.
of everything to them in one document. They can go through it really quick, tell me any changes. I get it back to them and get it all scheduled out for the month. So that has been huge because then I get to mid month and I'm kind of like, I can relax for a minute because it's all scheduled out. So
Right.
stuff like that's super helpful.
Well, I've liked it a lot too, and that me, it's all about systems because I think I told you when I first met you is I always like to share my big why, which is I want to get home. I get home to the family.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can be more systemized, it's going to be better. And so that's why instead of looking at the shiny penny, which I was doing for a long time, driving you freaking crazy, you were very nice the way you handled it though. But that's what I was doing. And I really worked on that because I thought, let's just do this great. But once you knew my why, it made a big difference. And what I like about the batching, like I mean, is okay. It's going to be 2 or 3 days, maybe not that long, but I can shoot 3 months of episodes of Real Estate Hell with Scott Nell in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting. I literally have to take a nap before, just get myself in the zone because it's hard to stay engaged.
It is. It's
But the thing is, though, is that I think that you're great with the social media platforms, but in dealing with me specifically, which I assume that you would do with everybody, is you found out what works for me.
mm-hmm.
And what works for me is, okay, we're going to do a combination of Real Estate Hell, listings, and then post the stuff that you care about. I was at the Scouts, I was at my daughter's game, my aunt just turned 99, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So we figured out a plan and we did it. So really, it's to me, everything that we're working on with our systems feeds right into the social media. So to me, it's like you're the ideal person to have because you can do these systems. Plus, you understand what works better than most. That's one of the big benefits of working with Corey Walker. I'm never going to air these because then I'll sit here all these calls. Forget you. It's about
what if
me.
I give you a referral fee? How about that?
I can't take it. I just want to help you because you're so nice. So I couldn't do that. You're welcome to say a nice thing about me, towards the end of this thing if you want.
I will. I definitely will.
Because then I have a testimonial that I can post, which is also part of our process too, is that let people speak from their heart about their experience with you. And then it's great so that people are talking. And I remember telling Nico, get me off the screen. I don't want to be on the screen. Let them just say what's real to them and just go from there. So all part of the process.
Yes.
So what are some of your best tips for promoting a business on Instagram?
So what I like to tell people is to use Instagram like a funnel. So if you really want to capture everything within Instagram, use it like a funnel. So the top of the funnel would be your reels. So you're great about having all those reels. And reels are usually shown to a wider audience. Now it's kind of been waffling back and forth, and Instagram hasn't been as great about showing reels as it used to be, but it's still top of the food chain. So if you're going to do one thing, do reels. That's going to get people in there. Now, after they've seen some of your reels, then they can choose to go to your main feed and maybe follow you. And then you use some of those other posts, just your photos, things like that. Carousels work really well. So if people aren't familiar,
we should have more of those. That's a good point.
Yeah, one of the really good things to do. It's almost on par now. I'm finding with the reels are carousels in terms of feeding the algorithm. And the nice thing about carousels is that as you're going through them, you can tell a story. You can tell steps. And then if someone sees it for the first time in your feed, the second time they're going through the feed, they're going to see the second carousel piece automatically. So it's going to keep showing the next one as long as if someone's just, scrolling for hours, they'll see the full thing as they go along. So I really like carousels. The next piece of that is to do stories, and stories is where I like to be a little bit more casual. Stories, they go away in 24 hours. So if you want to just pop on and talk about something that you had, that you did that day, it can be a lot more personal. So up that know, like, and trust factor. And then if you really want to sell something or talk about something specific, go live. And that way your audience can interact back and forth with you. So that's kind of the full spectrum. And you can add other things in there. If you want to do a broadcast channel, you can do a broadcast channel. Those have kind of come and go. Not as many people are doing them as they used to. You can do notes as well. So there's a lot of different aspects of it. But if you just remember to go through that funnel and if you use all of it, you're going to be really successful. Now, a lot of people don't have the time to do all those different things. So I would say if you don't have the time to do all those things, concentrate on doing some reels and then, keeping up with your regular content on your page. And those are probably the two most important things right now.
That's great. No, I love it. One of the things too I noticed about you when we first started talking was let's figure out what works best for you. Like I'm going to be different than the next guy. I'm going to have a different profession, different attitude. And one of the things that we talked about in detail, which I think we really nailed down, is if to be the most authentic me I can be.
Mm-hmm.
So don't interview people and be all stiff because you're not a stiff guy. You're having a conversation. Okay, great. And then you're going to do this at the end because I love the philanthropic endeavors, even if it's the Scouts, if it's Mercy Childcare, whatever it happens to be. Let's ask people about that at the end too, so that we can tap into that. So we found what works for me that compels me to want to keep doing it. And if there's things I won't do, like going live, there's team members that are so good at it. Live for me, I'm a former actor who hates to be without a script.
But you're doing that right now.
Yeah, but we're having a conversation.
Yeah, but you can go live with other people. But
that's true. But
I know I'm really bad about doing lives myself, so I relate.
Yeah, but the point is that you tap into what works for each person. So like with your books on Instagram, to me, I mean, you have a bunch of great things to choose from. And to me, it'd be like, here's a menu. What works is going to work the best for me, and then be flexible to move. And that's what we've been doing. And so it's been working really well. And I've got more business than I've ever had.
Yay! That's what I love to hear.
Yes. I won't give you all the credit, but I'll give you a lot of it. I'm happy to do that.
I can't take all the credit for sure.
Yes. I have another question. So if someone wanted to order, because you have your next edition coming out, tell us about what that is, how people can order it, all that good stuff.
Sure. So it is Instagram for Business for Dummies, 3rd edition, and it is not out yet, but it is available for pre-order on Amazon. So if you just go on Amazon, I don't have a direct link to it that I can say because it's just a bunch of weird numbers and stuff. But if you just go in there and search
plug it in
Instagram for Business for Dummies 2024, you'll see it and you can pre-order it and it will ship out on December 5th. So just in time for the holidays, if you want to give it to your favorite small business owner.
I love it. Excellent. So I do want to ask about a charity or anything that's close to your heart. But first off, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? Anything else you want to cover?
Most of it, yeah.
All right. Wonderful. What about a charity? Do you have a charity or a cause or anything close to your heart?
One thing, yeah, my daughter and I, for the past, I think it's been exactly a year, we both volunteer together at a place called Fat Kitty City. And it is a cat adoption and rescue sanctuary. And it's just this really cool place. It's out. They're kind of secretive where they are because they don't want people just dumping off cats. So it is.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's out in the woods and we try to go every weekend, and our job is just to love the cats and pet them and talk to them, and I just love it because it's a good kind of bonding time. My daughter and I both enjoy going, and we know that we're helping socialize the cats so then they'll get adopted. Yeah, so it's just a win-win. It's just a fun day outside and hopefully some cats get new homes.
Nice. Okay. God, we got a lot of good stuff. I do have one favor to ask you. Because we're collecting testimonials because that's part of our strategy.
Yes.
So you work with me. It would be awesome for you to just share your experience or whatever it is. I don't want to put words in your mouth and stuff like that because you work with me in a different way. Because it's just the way we approach. You see how I approach things. You see how my marketing works and stuff. Anyway, if you don't mind just saying a little something, that'd be great.
Yeah. Okay. So you can just rearrange these. So it's just going to be me on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll do that. For that, he will.
Okay. So, what I love about working with Scott is that he has a very giving heart. So, he is always looking out for people, and he loves to connect people with other people, just to help them. Like, he doesn't connect people because he's thinking, oh, this is going to be this great real estate transaction. He just generally likes to help people, and he's a super nice guy. And that's on that side of things. Now, on the real estate business side, I see what he does with the properties and how he turns, something that's nice into something gorgeous that really makes a difference in the sale. So on the business side, he's super savvy and knows what to do to put the property on a pedestal and make it unforgettable. Yes.
Thank you for that. You're so sweet. I'm humbled because sometimes when people say something nice about me, I'm always thinking, like, gosh, if they really knew me, if they knew the things that go through my head sometimes when you get upset or something. But thank you. That's very sweet of you.